we're about to get probably a lot more interesting as we get into the meat of the topics. Joseph Goebbels, Minister of Propaganda. Find him in this picture. This one's easy. And there he is. He's Roy Disney. This is Walt Disney's brother. Now, point out something to you. Walt Disney, we're going to see in a little bit who he played, which I've revealed already, but he's crouching at the knees to make himself look shorter than his brother Roy. He is not shorter than Roy. He is taller. They have this thing over his knees. He is taller because we're going to see in a minute that Walt Disney was playing Adolf Hitler. Roy Disney was playing Joseph Goebbels. And here's Goebbels here, and you can see the resemblance. Doesn't look like they put on any makeup on this guy. And here with the stupid Heil Hitler face grin. And here's where we're going to get very, very interesting. So again, Roy Disney, Joseph Goebbels, and you can see the prosthetic placed on, this will be turn out to be Walt Disney in a minute, we'll see, on his nose. And the reason this becomes so difficult to understand is that it's easier to believe that this man is purely evil, that's the heart and soul of this man, than it is to believe that this man, Walt Disney, can betray you like this. The guy, it's a small world and Cinderella and all this other stuff, and realize that there are people who will not show Disney films in their home because they're horrible, with witches and cauldrons and all sorts of evil. And again, I'll read this. These will be the most difficult slides because it's much easier to believe in pure evil than it is to acknowledge betrayal by someone you trust. This is the worst evil of all, and what we have here is betrayal. This is the worst of the worst, betrayal. This is the man who played Adolf Hitler, and we look at ear biometrics, and what they do is they take the anatomy of the ear, and there's the helix, rim, lobule, anti-helix, and there are people who can identify all these areas, and then they run 3 lines through it, and they compare where the lines go through, and then if you take the framework with the lines compared to another ear, if you get a certain number of matches, you have the same person. It's possible you have the twin brother, but as a rule, every ear is different, and no 2 ears are the same. So even if you had twins, you could find this person's got a little scar tissue over here. It's the same, I believe it's the same ear over here. There's a little bit of scar tissue here. There might be a little scarring over here. So you're going to find blemishes and whatnot on there. This is where I got this from. I had seen once before about the Disney Hitler connection, that Walt Disney was Adolf Hitler. But I didn't understand it because I think it was presented badly. This is the man who gave this information online to a lot of people, including myself, and he is a genius with facial recognition. He's a true historian, and this is the web address to find his video on the Disney Hitler connection here. It's called The Case for Conspiracy Exposed, and it's part 2A, and he uses this biometrics to compare the ears of Walt Disney with Adolf Hitler, and he finds them to be identical. And you can take a look at the shape of the head, the jaw, and the open mouth, and you're left with a lot of questions. Walt Disney is a pretty impressive character. He's a genius. He's an artist. He's this, he's that. How is it he's Adolf Hitler? And you can't take it at face value. you have to go figure it out yourself. Well, I've showed a whole bunch of people who are playing Nazis who are Disney employees, but I had to see for myself. I I believed that he was correct on this, though my jaw dropped as he showed it to me. I had seen him show me enough stuff in his videos to say that this person was this person, this person was this person. But I mean, this is saying Disney is Adolf Hitler, not so easy to accept. And this is just a blown up version of it. So, but I went to the internet to see if I couldn't find anything to confirm it myself, and I did. So here I find a picture of Adolf Hitler, and here's Walt Disney. I believe this is a picture. I think Mussolini's in here, but apparently Walt Disney had a problem with the left two incisors, and this one, the second incisor here sits under the first incisor and pushes it forward. And it appears here that Adolf Hitler has some kind of problem, though it's a little more difficult to determine. I think they have graded out a little bit, so we look for other pictures. And this one is much more clear. Again, you see the second incisor sitting underneath the first. And here it is on Adolf Hitler. It appears to be the same issue with the incisor sitting underneath on Adolf Hitler. This is the same man. I found this virtually confirmatory. There is a prosthetic on the nose. But in addition, if you're not convinced, based on the biometrics of the ear and the dental records, which appear to be identical, we'll look at the family in a second. I really am not going to go through this in too much detail. I will say this is also Ed Sheeran's work, and is the most brilliant piece of work I've ever seen on anything, anywhere. And it reveals the relationship between Teddy Roosevelt and Teddy Roosevelt's sons, Archie and Kermit Roosevelt. And here we have Adolf Hitler. It's a very complicated slide. I have to leave it in here. But again, it's another slide of betrayal. I advise people to take a careful look at it. I may come back and do a video just on this. And yeah, this is, I'm going to pass over this and move on to the next piece. So again, we're trying to show you the relationship between Walt Disney and Adolf Hitler, that they're the same person. So this is Joseph Goebbels, and this is his wife, Magda Goebbels, and here we see a remarkable resemblance between Joseph Goebbels' wife, Magda, and Roy Disney's wife, Patricia Daly Disney. Notice she dies in 2012, and this is about the time we start looking for these various images, and I doubt she's really dead. This is Magda Goebbels with her two daughters, and it's about to get very interesting. The arrow points at Magda Goebbels' daughter Helga. It's his favorite niece. And who else is she? Remember, this is Roy Disney's daughter, Walt Disney's favorite niece. And this is an entertainment family. You can put it on pause. All right, you better sit down. And boom, this is Judy Garland. So this is Magda Goebbels, who is Joseph Goebbels' wife. Joseph Goebbels is the minister of propaganda, and his daughter Helga is Judy Garland. You can look at this picture's from Tribute to Judy Garland in color. Here she is. And a couple more pictures for you. Here's this is a flipped image of the earlier picture, and again, Walt Disney is crouching down. Here you see Adolf Hitler, who's Walt Disney, is taller than Joseph Goebbels. Joseph Goebbels is Roy Disney. The makeup is abysmal. There is none. This is the same person. Here's Magda Goebbels, who is Patty Disney. Judy Garland over here is Helga. And I'll show you these other kids in a second. All right, so here's Adolf Hitler posing with this little girl. And who's this little girl? You can stop, try and guess, take a look. All right, this is Shirley Temple. Again, this is a entertainment family. Walt Disney is Adolf Hitler. And this is Shirley Temple, who's going to turn out to be his niece. This is Walt Disney's niece, Roy Disney's daughter. Roy Disney is playing Joseph Goebbels. And you see here, normally Shirley Temple has the classic curly hair, but here's a film she made, and her hair is straight. This is Shirley Temple in a film called Kid in Africa. And here's some other pictures of Shirley Temple, and this is the shushing, which is sort of classic at this point. And though it doesn't pertain to what we're doing, here's a picture of Walt staring at Shirley Temple. Walt Disney's, this is his niece. Shirley Temple is the daughter of Roy Disney. Roy Disney is Joseph Goebbels. This is not a man staring at some street urchin or somebody from another family. This is his niece. If you're going to run a major movie studio, you're going to employ your family and their kids and turn them into stars, and that's what he did. This is not pertinent but interesting. This kid here is Billy Thomas, who was Buckwheat, and wound up doing the Our Gang comedy. And this is Ernie Morrison, who best known for Sunshine Sammy. I spotted Buckwheat right away, Billy Thomas. It took me several months to get up enough time to figure out who he was, but this is who it is. I'm back to Magda Goebbels, Joseph Goebbels' wife, who's Patty Disney. And here is Judy Garland,